Hi guys, welcome back to Blame My Rising Sign episode 3. Thank you so much for joining in today. I can't wait to talk to you guys today about today's topic. We're going to be talking about the TTC community and the positives and negatives of that and the struggles that people go through when it does come down to trying to conceive, and really how trying to get pregnant has become a full-time job. So let's have a look at some facts, shall we? I just Googled what the percentage of getting pregnant is versus your age. So it says here that a woman's fertility is highest in her 20s and early 30s. The chances of getting pregnant naturally decline significantly with age, primarily due to a decrease in egg quantity and quality. So let's have a look at some percentages here. So under 30, about a 25% chance per cycle. That's not much really when you think about it. You'd think it would be much higher. And then at and around age 30 is around 20% chance per cycle. Age 35, around a 12 to 15 chance per cycle. Age 40, about a 5% chance per cycle. And age 45, about 1% chance per cycle, which is crazy. I don't think anybody prepares you for how much work can actually go into trying to get pregnant. Before I started looking into fertility and trying to conceive, I had a pretty poor mindset on it. Probably like a lot of people, where you assume that you get off the pill, you have sex, and you get pregnant. That is not the case, especially when I came across the TTC community. Now, the trying to conceive community is massive, and I didn't realize how big it was until I looked into it. I searched up trying to get pregnant, pregnant journey, how to get pregnant, what should I do to get pregnant, all sorts of things. And I looked it up on Google, Instagram, TikTok. And TikTok is massive when it comes to the TTC community. And it's huge. It really broadened my knowledge base when it came to how long it takes to get pregnant. Sometimes it's not as easy as you think, and it's a bit of a reality check because it's not that easy, and people have been trying for months, maybe years, and it's a real journey to go on, and it's hard to watch sometimes when you watch people's journeys because they want nothing more than to have a baby, and they're having a hard time conceiving. And it's really hard to watch. It's really rough. And my heart goes out to all the people that are trying and are in it. It's probably one of the most hardest things to try to do, especially when you are a woman and you are born to do this. You don't have to, as again, I discussed in other episodes, that you have a choice. But biologically, women are born a certain way with certain organs and reproductive organs to create a baby and to fall pregnant. And it's really heartbreaking to see all of those women struggle and to have also been part of that as well, to be a part of the TTC community. You don't realize how much of a tribe you have when you start trying, because there's so many people out there like you who are struggling, and people out there who are going to support you and give you kind words of encouragement to keep trying and try the next day, test again, don't give up, try this product, try that. It's a lot of encouragement and lots of words of affirmation, which is so beautiful. And I'd probably say it's one of the stronger communities that there is out there when trying to conceive a baby. Now, the trying to conceive community, especially on TikTok, is not only massive and it will also make you feel less alone, but it's really all consuming and it's a bit like a rabbit hole. It's people trying all sorts of things and you find yourself starting to try them out too because you feel like, what if this will be my time this month, this cycle, if I try this out? I should be tracking my BBT, which is your basal body temperature, every single day, every morning before you get out of bed. You should be trying pomegranate juice. You should be taking all different types of multivitamins to, become more fertile. You should be not drinking any alcohol at all, even when you're not trying. Just be super, super healthy. Try not to drink any alcohol. Don't smoke cigarettes. Cervical mucus tracking. Your ovulation tracking as well. Trying different positions and timing intercourse perfectly. Every single month. It's exhausting. And these women have been doing it for months and months and months, over and over and over. And it's just a rabbit hole of all of these things that you have to try to do each month to hope that you're going to get pregnant. It will make you go a little bit crazy trying to have a baby. And even though a lot of these women, and myself included, show strength throughout the process, you go a little bit crazy and you get really, really sad, and then you get really angry, and then you get upset, and it's just a cycle. It just continues over and over and over again, and you just try again the next month and the next month. And, one day you're just living your life. You're having fun. You're having sex. You're like, oh yeah, this is great. This is fine. We'll fall pregnant. Until you're suddenly to the point where you're so desperate to have a baby, you are inspecting your discharge on your toilet paper like a forensic investigator. It's crazy. I feel like one of the frustrating sides of trying to conceive is that we're spent and taught our whole lives that don't get pregnant. Don't get pregnant. You can't get pregnant. You're too young. Don't get pregnant. Only for us to then try, and it is not straightforward whatsoever. And there's not enough education around it either, especially in school, to discuss options and how to ensure for future that if that is something that you want, these are the sort of things that you should probably not do. These are things that you should probably stay away from. And it's frustrating because we should have been taught about this shit. We should have been explained, okay, this is how many eggs you have. This is all you have. And as you get older, it will decrease. And your likelihood of starting your own family will diminish. It will get less and less likely that you will be able to have children because you have waited such amount of time to have kids. It's kind of scary in the aspect of the fact that if you're like me and decided that you didn't want them, when you find the right partner and you realize that you do actually want to have a family, how scary it is then to realize, holy shit, I've spent this whole time so against having a baby and trying to prevent it that I didn't even do any research during that time to realize how I can get out of that once I want to start trying. And it's really hard because when you're on the pill, they supposedly say that because you're not releasing eggs, you have more eggs stored up when you do start trying again. But at the same time, does that not falter or make the quality of the eggs worse? I would like to know. Now, this is the part of today's podcast where we're going to talk a little bit more in depth. We're going to get a bit deep. We're going to get personal. Gross, I'm sorry. But, it's a bit of a mental overload and it's exhausting. Having to try every single month and you're trying different positions, trying different vitamins, trying this tea, trying that, doing this. It's so mentally draining and you start having so many negative thoughts all of the time and you get really obsessed with it. You get so overly obsessed that you are overanalyzing everything, every single minor detail, even down to your symptoms that day. Oh, my nipples tingled and they didn't yesterday. That could be a sign. Oh, I'm just really not feeling like fish today. Maybe that's a sign. Oh my God, I could be pregnant. You overanalyze everything. And it's one of those things where you just look a little bit crazy. You look a little bit crazy and you start to like over obsess with it. You Google all of your symptoms, you're Googling, you're asking Google Doctor, okay, I had this, and this today, and I'm a little bit itchy. Does that mean that I'm pregnant? And it's really sad. It's really sad because it should be so fucking simple. It should be so simple, and you really just start comparing yourself to others. And even though other people are able to fall pregnant on the first try or a lot sooner than you, doesn't mean that they probably still didn't have doubts or negative thoughts. Those feelings and thoughts are still warranted, regardless of if you got pregnant straight away. You're still seen. That's okay. It is normal. We are women. Together, we are a community. And I fully believe that we weren't meant to do this on our own. This was definitely meant to be more of a matriarchy, not a patriarchy, where we should have had a community and taken care of everybody together. And I think everyone is pretty quick to judge those who possibly do get pregnant too quickly, or they do have an unexpected surprise pregnancy that wasn't planned. And it can get a little bit toxic. And that is where we do really need to take space for the people that are fortunate in that way, because it's good to see. It is good to see that there are people who are able to be so fertile and who can fall pregnant so quickly. It's beautiful. I myself have been feeling very hesitant to keep trying and tracking so intricately as I have been, because I've been tracking my BBT and I've been making sure that when we do try throughout the month, it is around my ovulation time. We did kind of back off a little bit on being so consistent around ovulation to only doing it maybe every few days, not even just a couple days, every few days. And that also just helped relieve the stress and the pressure of it too. It made it less of a obligation and more of a conversation with our bodies, something to explore and to have fun with. And to make a baby should be something beautiful and not a job, even though majority of the time it feels like it's a full-time job. If you were like me and you didn't know about the TTC community, I would definitely recommend looking into it and going on Instagram or TikTok and looking up TTC. It is massive. It is huge. And there are positives. There are negatives, but the positives, really do outweigh the negatives. You'll find support and community. You'll also find education on a lot of things that you didn't realize were possibly a thing around trying to get pregnant, or things that you should probably avoid. Like, I didn't realize, and again, these are just simple things that some people might just say is common sense, but I didn't realize that having hot baths would reduce the likelihood of me getting pregnant. I didn't know that. So after I found that out, I stopped having hot baths and I started having lukewarm ones. Just things like that make you realize, wow, okay, it's a lot to learn. There's different things that people have, such as like hacks that you could try. Just support is the main big one. On the opposite spectrum of that, though, just keep in mind that there is going to be negatives to that. There's going to be people, and you're going to do it yourself as well. I do it, is compare. And comparison is what do they say? Comparison is the killer of happiness, something like that. And you really can't compare. Everyone is on this planet, possibly for different reasons and have different purposes, but ultimately we all have the same outcome, which we can't avoid. So when you do see people compare, or you have people who say a comment, if you decide to post and, become part of the community, and they compare themselves to you, it's always good to show support and to let them know that everyone's on their own journeys. Even though we're all made to do the same thing, not every person's experience is going to be the same. And it's important to show positivity, especially when it comes to pregnancy and conceiving. Though at the same time, it does make you wonder, at what point does information stop being helpful and just become stressful as fuck, Another really important segment that I wanted to share with you guys in this podcast when it comes to trying to conceive is losing yourself in it and letting it consume you. I think it's really important to remember that is the end goal, but ultimately you're what's important and your partner is what's important. You can become so fully in it and so consumed by it that you feel as though that's your only purpose. And you are so much more than that, and you are so much more outside of trying to conceive. And it's easy to fall victim to thinking that, okay, I can't do any of this. I can't drink. I can't have fun. I can't eat these foods because I'm currently in the 2-week wait. You are so much more outside of the 2-week wait. There is so much to be done and so much fun to be had. And don't let trying to conceive consume you, and don't let it control you is what I'm trying to say. That'll be pretty much the closing of this episode of Blame My Rising Sign. And I really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Feel free to join in and leave a comment if you'd like. If you watch this video on YouTube or you're seeing a clip on TikTok, let me know if you've had any struggles or what your experience has been trying to conceive. Feel free to share your thoughts or any support or words of affirmation when it comes to other people if you have managed to conceive. And just remember to give yourself grace and give yourself time, and love you all so much. Bye.